This is not financial nor professional advice. This video is for entertainment only. Hey everyone, why is Ukraine and Russia and that conflict such a big deal? Why is it having such a big effect upon stocks? Well, today I'd like to give you some of the background on that would help you to understand and how it's likely to keep affecting stocks and which stocks it's likely to affect the most. You know, some people assume that it's going to be a walk in the park for Russia to take over Ukraine. That is so far from the truth. Ukraine has been at war with Russia since 2014, and all Russia has been able to take over is Crimea. They have a rather large army. With their reservists, they have at least 900,000 soldiers. The force attacking them has 200,000 Russians. Okay, I'm told that you need 3 times the number of attackers than the people in the country, than the soldiers in the country to be effective. So the thought that they're going to take over all of Ukraine, especially with the United States giving in aid and loans and advanced weapons like the Javelin that'll knock out tanks, that is really, I think, a wrong assumption. I think it's a good assumption that Russia will take over parts of Ukraine, the parts closest to Russia, that are mostly Russian-speaking people that outnumber the Ukrainians. But I think a lot of this is in doubt. And I think the Ukrainians are very tough people. And I want to show you the statue that's on the bank of the river that runs by Kiev, which is the capital of Ukraine. And you can see it's a protector of the motherland, holding up her sword and her shield to protect the motherland. And I think this is the kind of spirit of the people they're fighting against. And they know the Russians. They were a big part of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union has changed so much in my lifetime. I want to show you an old map and a new map of what used to be the Soviet Union and how the world has changed in my lifetime. We wish Putin was a happy-go-lucky guy who just loved puppies, but I want to give you some idea of what's led to his, what I consider a distorted view of the world and how he feels the world is, or at least his world, is collapsing. Actually, I think I can tell you about the differences between what the Soviet Union used to be and what it is now by just looking at this one map. When you look at, this is all the countries as they are now. And if we look at it, Russia, of course, is the biggest landmass of all. And then I will go to the furthest to the left on your screen. They once, after World War II, they had all of East Germany. They had Czechoslovakia, they had Hungary, they had Poland, they had Bulgaria, they had Romania. They once had what used to be Yugoslavia, which included Serbia, Bosnia, and Slovenia, and those countries in there. Albania, at one time, they had that until 1948 or something, I think. That whole eastern part of Europe, Poland, half of Germany, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, what was Yugoslavia, that was all under the Soviet Union's control. They used to have tanks going in the streets in the 1960s, I remember. But eventually those all broke away and became independent. And then now, so Russia sees, and Putin sees himself as under attack almost, because now what's being peeled away is the next layer closest to them. Ukraine, Belarus is still within their control, but Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia are independent states. And Russia feels like NATO is just encroaching on them. And I think Putin is worried and scared that he's going to be deposed like other corrupt dictators. He's nearly a dictator. He's not totally a dictator, but he's nearly a dictator. But like other corrupt leaders like Gaddafi have been thrown out, and I think he's trying to prevent that from happening to him. So I want to tell you how I'm trading this market in light of these events. I used to think that there were selective stocks, and perhaps there are, that you can trade. I was mainly trading mining stocks like Alcoa aluminum, but it seems like these events are so overwhelming that we've become a headline stock market, that the stock market trades according to headlines now. And so, and what's been the most reliable thing to do is to day trade and use inverse funds to short the market in general. I like to use the SQQQ, which is shorting the QQQs, which are the 100 largest companies on the NASDAQ, which haven't come down a lot. I did notice that today that the S&P 500 did correct to the 10%. So it has an official correction now. And it's just, is it going to go into a bear market? I think we have another 5% to go. Whether it hits the 20% remains to be seen. And I think it's going to be driven by what happens with Russia and Ukraine and what happens with interest rates. Putin did accomplish one thing with all this commotion he's created. He has raised the price of oil, and that's got to be a big benefit to Russia. I had to look this up because I could hardly believe my eyes. The United States is still the #1 oil producing company in the world. Now, we don't have the most oil reserves. Saudi Arabia has the most oil reserves, but we are producing the most oil, which is just amazing to me. And then you add to that the United States is the Saudi Arabia of natural gas, and we are quite significant in the energy area. But the second oil producing country is Russia. The third oil producing company. I keep thinking these are corporations. No, they're actually countries, Steve. No, the third oil producing country is Saudi Arabia, of course. But it surprised me that the United States is #1 and Russia is #2 in oil production. And I did notice that Germany, as a sanction against Russia, has stopped the pipeline of natural gas from Russia. Hey, guess who I think is going to keep producing natural gas and supplying liquid natural gas to Europe? I think that could be a plus thing for the United States. Not that I think that's a positive thing for the world, but thank God they have the United States to back them up. Otherwise, they would be totally dependent on Russia. Not totally dependent, but a lot more dependent than they are. So I think oil stocks have been going up. I don't really like oil stocks, so I've been staying away from them. And mainly what I'm doing is I'm day trading the market, and by shorting it through using inverse funds. They do all the shorting for you. You don't have to do anything. You put your money in, and for every dollar that the index, the 100 largest companies on the NASDAQ, for every dollar they go down, this fund, this SQQQ, goes up $3. So, and it seems like you have to trade the headlines with this. And you know that saying, buy the rumor and sell the news? I've noticed that seems to be true with this, because when bad news comes out, you want to buy the rumor, but you probably want to sell it slightly before the rumor comes out, because we always think it's going to be worse than it is. So I'm using my own form of buying the rumor and selling the news. Now, I'm not recommending this for anyone. This is what I'm doing. It's dangerous and it's risky, and you have to be sort of used to doing it, which I am. And I've had good luck, and so I will probably keep doing it. But I'm a day trader on an inverse fund called the SQQQ, and that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. And I want to thank you for listening and watching, and be sure to like and subscribe so that you receive future notifications. And thank you so much, and I will see you in the future.